Welcome to today's explainer. Have you ever just looked at a massive, solid mountain cliff and thought, yeah, I'm going to carve an entire intricate temple right out of that? Well, today, that is exactly the awe-inspiring concept we're going to be exploring. We are looking at the breathtaking Badami Caves in Karnataka, India. And I need to be clear here, these aren't buildings constructed by stacking stones on top of each other. No, these are magnificent sanctuaries excavated directly out of the solid sandstone cliffs that overlook the beautiful Agastya Lake. It's an absolute marvel of ancient engineering and art, and I am so thrilled to guide you through it today.
So, what happens when an empire carves its devotion into the face of a mountain? It's a pretty powerful thought, isn't it? To really answer this, we need to take a bit of a spatial journey. We're going to act as your virtual tour guides today, stepping roughly 1,500 years back in time. We're heading straight into the era of the Chalukya dynasty, which was this incredibly powerful empire that ruled over large parts of southern and central India. And they didn't just build temples, they quite literally removed massive blocks of living rock from the bowels of the earth to create these stunning spaces for worship.
All right, let's ground ourselves historically for a second. The early Chalukyas established their capital at Badami, which was also historically known as Vatapi way back in the 6th century. The Malaprabha River Valley around Badami, along with nearby Aihole, essentially became this crucial cradle for the evolution of Indian temple architecture. By the year 578 CE, they had already achieved a major milestone, the inauguration of Cave 3. And this magnificent momentum just kept going, with construction on Cave 4 kicking off in the 7th century and wrapping up with final additions in the 8th century. This whole timeline really represents a golden age of artistic experimentation and intense devotion.
Okay, moving right along to Section 1, Cave 1, and the Cosmic Dance.
I want you to picture this. Imagine climbing this series of steep stone steps, going about 59 feet up the cliff face. You've got these dwarvish ganas carved into the rock, looking as if they're literally holding up the floor beneath your feet. You are stepping into the ancient domain of the Hindu deity Shiva, and almost immediately you are greeted by the magic number 18. Right at the entrance of Cave 1 stands this breathtaking 5-foot-tall sculpture of Shiva as Nataraja, performing the cosmic dance, the Tandava. Now, this magnificent carving features 18 arms, 9 on the left and 9 on the right. And these aren't just there for dramatic effect either. They masterfully represent 81 specific combinations of Natya mudras, or classical dance gestures, all arranged in a geometric pattern that symbolizes the cosmic wheel. The sheer knowledge of Bharatanatyam dance required to carve this into solid stone is just staggering.
Now here's the crazy part. Think about the immense pressure these artisans were actually under. There was absolutely zero chance to correct any errors. If a chisel slipped, well, the entire cave had to be abandoned. Remember, they were working with living rock here. It's not like they could just swap in a fresh block of stone and try again. Every single strike had to be flawless, and that demanded perfect anatomical knowledge. Just to give you an example, further inside this cave, there's a carving of the skeletal Brinji Sadhu, a devotee of Shiva. The sculptors carved his ribs, his skull, the individual bones in his hands and legs, all with absolute, unforgiving anatomical precision. It's mind-blowing.
Let's move higher up. Section 2, Caves 2 and 3, the Grandeur of Vishnu.
As we continue our path further up the Sandstone Cliff, we encounter these visually arresting monuments dedicated to the Vaishnavite tradition. And we can really contrast two massive dynamic reliefs of Vishnu's avatars found right here in these caves. On one side, we've got Trivikrama. This is Vishnu taking a gigantic, cosmic stride to subdue the demon king Mahabali and literally push him down to the netherworld. Then on the flip side is Varaha, the wild boar avatar, who is physically rescuing the earth goddess Badami from the deep depths of the cosmic ocean, depicted right there with a multi-headed serpent below. The sensory language of the stone itself, the deep, rough cuts contrasting against the smooth finishes, it perfectly emphasizes the sheer physical grandeur and the sweeping action of these epic myths.
Now, I really want you to look closer as we step into Cave 3. This one is the largest, the highest, and without a doubt the most intricately carved cave in the entire Badami complex. We actually have inscriptions that tell us it was inaugurated on a full moon day in November of 578 CE. And because it has this massive open veranda, the whole cave is just beautifully illuminated. Natural light bounces perfectly off the rich red and bluish tones of the sandstone, completely highlighting the incredibly fine details of the carvings inside. Right inside Cave 3, we come face to face with a beautifully dense piece of iconography, the Ashtapuja or 8-armed Mahavishnu. Now, standard depictions usually show Vishnu with 4 arms, right? So this 8-armed version immediately signifies a supreme elevated form.
Let's break down exactly what he's holding to keep it digestible. His hands wield the chakra, a mace, a conch shell, a bow, an arrow, a sword, and a rope. Every single one of these artifacts is carved with just astonishing precision into the cliff face, fully representing his absolute cosmic power and his essential role as the preserver of the universe.
All right, next up, Section 3, Ancient Frescoes and Colors. I want you to mentally shift your gaze for a moment. Look away from the heavy stone walls and look upward, toward the ceiling cross beams of Cave 3. What you're looking up at is actually among the earliest known surviving evidence of fresco painting in all of Indian art. Just let that sink in for a second. We are talking about 6th century murals here. And sure, they are faded and a bit broken today, but you can still make out the faint, ancient colors depicting Vedic gods like Agni and Indra, as well as this incredibly intricate scene of the wedding of Shiva and Parvati. It completely proves that these caves weren't just raw, bare stone. They were once these vibrant, deeply colorful, fully painted sanctuaries.
Cave 3 is also a total masterclass in architectural innovation. You see, Chalukyan architects didn't just stick to their own local traditions. They actively blended the northern Indian Nagara style of architecture with the southern Indian Dravida style. By fusing the best ideas from both regions, they developed their own entirely distinctive architectural idiom, which is known as the Visara style. Badami was quite literally a laboratory where the very future of Indian temple architecture was being invented in real time. Taking a slightly different turn now with Section 4, Cave 4, and Jain Serenity.
So, taking a few steps down the hill toward the east, we find the newest and smallest cave in the complex. And wow, the contrast here is striking. Instead of the sweeping, dynamic action of the Hindu avatars we were just looking at, this space is completely defined by tranquil, meditative stillness. A perfect example of this is Kayotsarga. That's a profound meditating posture focused on total bodily detachment. Inside, you'll find a magnificent carving of Bahubali standing in this exact posture. He's so incredibly still and so deeply in meditation that vines have literally wrapped themselves all the way around his legs. Alongside him, you'll also see these beautifully serene images of the Jain Tirthankaras like Mahavira and Parshvanatha, shielded by a massive 5-headed cobra hood. It's just a space of profound, absolute quiet.
And finally, Section 5, an enduring architectural legacy.
We've really covered some ground today. We've climbed the cliffs, we've witnessed the stunning 18-armed cosmic dance in Cave 1, the massive, earth-shaking strides of Vishnu in Caves 2 and 3, those delicate, ancient frescoes fading above our heads, and the deeply silent vine-wrapped Jain Serenity over in Cave 4. The Chalukyas absolutely transformed the Malaprabha River Valley into a master model for generations of architecture to come. The Badami Caves, well, they aren't just buildings. They are a living testament to what human beings can actually achieve when they're driven by absolute faith and unparalleled artistic vision. So, I'll leave you with this. How do these monuments, carved entirely from the bowels of the living rock with absolutely zero margin for error, continue to shape our understanding of human devotion 1,500 years later? It really makes you wonder, doesn't it?